It's time, Andrew Schatkin time, Schatkin show on YouTube. Andrew, how are you? You and I.
I'm good. I'm very happy to be on this show. I welcome, of course, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a person who is driven by themselves solely. I'm generally willing to listen to other points of view all the
and you,
time.
and you kind of got in this kind of not argument, but kind of this situation where we were going back and forth about
Yeah, we were
education,
going back and forth.
especially about technology. But what are we going
Yeah.
to talk about today, Andrew?
Well, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the things I talked about before, just to review. I want to say, can I talk?
Yes.
Okay. I think that our liberal arts curriculum, I'm not saying our educational system is bad, but I think we have to some extent not featured the liberal arts, philosophy, languages, history. And the reasons are very various. There is kind of a reverse racism where they don't want European-based writers, and certain political reasons, I think, in certain schools. And there's also a matter of the technology, which is great. You inform me about the value of technology, but it could be that the technology, cell phones, computers, emails, has affected our school curriculum in terms of the things I just mentioned. Another factor might be the schools are vocational in nature. They don't want to talk about history. They don't want to talk about liberal arts. They want to talk about these kids want to be able to get a job. That's just some of the reasons. But I want to talk about something else now. If I could, Neil?
Yes.
This is something that very much disturbs me. And I believe it's prevalent throughout our entire society. I'm sure you're aware of it more than me. You're a very intelligent person, Neil. But I have to say this, ladies and gentlemen, there is a deficit of intellectual exchange and debate in our society. Let me give you some examples. And these are not politicized examples, ladies and gentlemen. They are examples of the absence of debate. Take something like women's rights and abortion. I'm not saying that isn't a valid perspective. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But I do say that abortion as a moral issue should be debated. I think there's a moral issue there. Is that kid have his life lost or his potential for life? And the same thing with euthanasia, ladies and gentlemen. One amount of person, it could be a mistake. The person's old, maybe they'll get better. And you take their life, you made a mistake. Also, that you're devaluing that person's life by saying that, well, there isn't much left, let's get rid of them. Well, I don't agree with that. But these are all pro-life issues. And I ask the school system, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, don't you want to hear about life and its value and its infinite value and very great value? What value do you put on your life if there was an abortion? I'm asking you that, lady. Neil, I ask you,
Right.
what if your kids were aborted? What about that? You happy with that?
No. But see, here's the problem, Andrew. The problem
Okay.
is people are not allowed to have any rights of an opinion that is not someone else's opinion. That we've come into the society today now, if we endorse Trump or we endorse Biden, we will be ostracized by the other side.
Right.
There's no such thing as a conversation like we had years ago.
Right.
Now we're either considered immoral, racist, rapists, and everything,
Well, don't you think it's the left?
or
Yeah.
we're lefties, communists, and dictators. So there is no in between anymore of dialogue between conservatives and liberals.
All I'm saying is, Neil, I'm just saying this, that there is a point of view, a perspective that abortion compromises someone's life.
Well, it does, and
It
see,
does.
the fight is the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church believes that in the womb,
Well, I agree with them.
it's a life. No, I'm not saying I agree with it as well. But the argument is, Andrew, that abortion is something that is needed because it's the only resort. People do not look at life as sacred. And now in this time and efforts, but if you have somebody who is supporting pro-life, yet not living a moral life, it's very hard, Andrew, for people to support that. Here's another case in point. I have never in my life seen Catholics support a Democratic president nominee. There are Catholics for Biden. President Biden does not believe in the Catholic Church teachings. They will not give him communion. So we are in a very moral end of days situation.
Okay,
Either
I say
side
this.
you're on, and we're about to have a revolution, a civil war in so many ways, Andrew.
All I'm saying is, Neil, that you have conceded the fact that there is a moral issue concerned with abortion. You conceded that fact, right?
Right. I believe
So
that, but again,
why can't our academic structure allow this issue to be debated?
because they're not going to allow it, because we have gone so far left on one side and so far right.
Are they propaganda mills? Are they just
Yes.
leftward? Are the schools simply
Because
run
you
by the left wing?
look at the issues in debating, like when, let's just go back to the election between Gore and Bush. They were almost the same in so many aspects. There was only a few issues that they were different. Their education plan was different. Their tax plan was different. But there wasn't such a divide to the point of today between Biden and Trump. Now they have moved it so far left that anyone that has an extreme view of religion, has an extreme view of morality, is attacked at this point, Andrew.
But I don't see it. I see this as a reasonable issue. That I think that the young people in our colleges should be allowed to hear this perspective. That's
Well,
all.
we
That's all
can't
I'm saying.
debate climate change either, Andrew.
I'm just saying that it's a point of view. You concede the fact that there's a moral issue. This issue should be debated.
But
That's all I'm saying.
you can't debate climate change anymore either, Andrew.
Let me
Anyone who
ask
does
you-
not believe in climate change is considered a wacko.
Okay, but I mean, then you're conceding the fact the issue why abortion, which the Catholic Church regards as murder, and I think they're correct.
Yes.
I mean, it's obviously, if you think it through, it's murder, right?
Right.
Anybody,
If
any thinking
you
person,
believe that life begins at conception.
but
Yes.
any intelligent person is going to reach that conclusion.
I don't know if that's true, Andrew, anymore. I think we're going so far extreme to the left. I don't know if that's true anymore, Andrew. We are
If
in
if you were to think about it, what would
life
your
begins
conclusion?
at conception. So it is murder.
But you are, if that person's life or potential for life is being removed, there is a significant moral issue which impinges on it being murder.
Right. But
So
Andrew,
why can't the
but you're
kids,
not,
why can't our college students hear this?
because they can't. And that's because it's controlled.
it
You are,
controlled
as
the
I
left?
told you before, there are two sides to this story. One is control of conservatives, of the fact of the matter that what's good is good and what bad is bad. While liberals are what is the best for everyone, but it's all about the community, not one person. It's about the entire community, and that we're communal and that we share to each other, and there's no differences between each other. We're all equal. While conservatives have a different point of view. What I'm saying to you, Andrew, in this whole process is I can agree with many certain points you're saying, but we have come to a point where there's no moral line anymore in
Well,
this country.
that's true, but there's a moral line for the left, because they will say the moral issue is women's rights. They have defined
Women's body,
their
it's
moral
it's their body,
have
and they have the
defined
right to
that,
do with
then that
their
is the
body.
moral issue, correct?
Correct.
So that's okay. But all I'm saying is the other side should be heard. That's all I'm saying.
But they're not going to allow that because they look at it as a religious issue. It's same situation if you're going to
But it
debate
is not a
evolution.
religious issue. It is a issue of is that person's life being taken? I don't think it's a religious belief. It's a factual
moral issue.
belief. Is that
Yeah,
person's life
It
being
is a
taken?
legal rights of that child, of that unborn child. Do they deserve legal rights? And so
As much as anybody, I guess.
exactly what. But again, we have come to this point in time where we have people.
But
that
isn't the
so
matter?
let me go to the other part, Andrew.
Right.
So that's important. But let's look at opening up the country completely with no rules and no restrictions, we kill old people. Is
Well,
that
that would be kill old people, right? Kill anybody over 60.
right?
Right. That's the next step, isn't it?
Correct.
Right. Or maybe make the demarcation when they stop working. They're no longer an economic product for our society. Get rid of them.
Yes.
They're of no use.
So that's what they're, but that's funny. That's the Republican side. So we have both sides of the table, Andrew, that have certain parts of life that are not valued.
Basically, the reasoning is that the left has decided that there is no, essentially reached a conclusion that the only value to life is as an economic product.
Yes.
That's all.
See, so Andrew, let me just go like to this point in time. Our country's different than other countries in the fact that there's a lot of control. So, for example, in countries like India, if we have a pandemic, we're going to force you to stay home. Oh, Europe, we're going to force you to stay home. This is America with freedom. We use freedom so much more than any country in the world. We're about to implode in 3 weeks because we are so fired up for our issues that we can't get along with the other common good.
Did you know that female babies are regularly aborted in India and China?
Oh, yeah.
On a regular basis.
Right.
They are. Well, that is a non-Christian underlying society.
Exactly.
They don't have those thoughts and values. They'll do that then.
And that's where that's where we're going.
They don't see anything wrong.
They don't see anything wrong.
By the same token, in Thailand, they will put an 8-year-old girl out to prostitution. Right?
Right. So our country is fighting our freedoms and what freedoms are important. And that's what we're going to see in the election on November 3rd. Let
me ask you this question, Neil. Evolution. I personally don't believe in evolution as a reasonable.
There's no such thing as a believing in evolution.
I don't think the theory is correct. Okay?
It's a theory.
All I say about it is that I don't think it's the facts.
Right, exactly. So, but we have to value.
So why can't we hear that point of view in schools? They teach it as they teach Darwin as a fact,
as a theory.
But they don't. Nobody is allowed
because evolution has been used
here otherwise.
Evolution has been used in so many other aspects of medicine, of everything, using some of that theory that they're never.
I don't believe I came out of the sea. The cellular changes do not occur by accident. That's my opinion. I gave
right, but they use the theory to utilize for many different medical ways.
Why is it the schools will not hear the other point of view?
They're not going to, Andrew, unless you go back.
Why?
Because that's the way they're going to try to control their side. As the Republicans are controlling their side by having another conservative judge.
Don't you want a society in which our young people hear both sides
of the debate? So that's a perfect thing that we can stop right here, Andrew, and go to the next part is in this conversation. What are we going to talk about next week?
Next time, I'm going to talk about that would be tomorrow. You're handling tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're coming on my show tomorrow. It's game on about education.
I may mention some of the reasons that I feel our educational system is not doing the job for our young people. I have some reasons. One of them is, frankly, Neil, I know people are going to hate me to say this. It is reverse racism. They're saying the European white authors, we got to get rid of them because they were slaveholders and abused the minorities. That's one reason. Second is the vocational aspect of the schools. They've turned history out to pasture. They've turned literature and philosophy out to pasture and replaced it with business and computers. That's fine. I have no issue with that. But all I'm saying is, if you do this and eliminate these thinkers, I said it to you before, you disagreed with me, that's fine. If you do this, you are compromising an entire generation's connection.
So that's what we can talk about tomorrow too, because I disagree. I mean, I
Yeah,
honestly
I know you
believe
do. That's fine.
and so I believe that yes, it's going to hurt them in certain ways rhetorically, but not others. Okay, Andrew, ShatkinShow.com for more
Well,
information.
I know you disagree. That's
ShatkinShow.com for more info, Andrew.
okay.
And people could follow you there. Find also your YouTube channel, all those different things. Andrew Schatkin. And Andrew, you have a blog talk radio show and also a podcast, a bunch of different things,
Yes,
and a
yes,
YouTube
I
channel.
do, and I have plenty of blogs if people want to hear my thoughts. I'm not saying look. You were right, Neil. I'm not contradicting you. You had some very good things to say the last time we discussed this. But
Right.
all I'm
But
saying is that
I'm just trying to say to you,
don't
Andrew,
you
that
think
we're not in the country that we were 4 years ago.
are we in a country where there's freedom of thought?
Not anymore.
Let's you think so?
It's done.
Can you say what you want?
No, you can't.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, Andrew. Okay.
Do you believe let's get down to the facts, the unfortunate, disgusting facts. Do you believe the left has taken total control of
I
our
don't think
thoughts?
the left is. I think the right has. I think we're so out of control. It's crazy, and we need to just get along. All right,
Do you,
Andrew. Talk to you next week. All right,
I'm
guys.
not left.
All right, that was the Andrew Schatkin show.
Okay, ladies